Hi, Lemons. I hope you feel better. Thanks for coming in. Love you. Hi, Lily. Hi, Jenna. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hi, Desiree. Hi, Kim. Hi, Justin. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Laura. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Is everybody surviving this heat wave? Hi, Stacy. Hi, Patty. Welcome in, everybody. If you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow our beautiful porch. And same Jennifer, I am a heat girly for sure. But this, we didn't get much of a transition period. We skipped spring kind of. So it's like wasn't really enough time for the body to adjust. So it feels extremely hot. It feels much hotter because I'm usually 90 degree weather doesn't bother me. But I don't know if it's extra humidity or what, but it has been, and I'm even a humidity girly, but it has been extremely hot. And I think it's because we didn't get like our bodies didn't get the ease into it. Well, yeah, you never have spring, so you're used to it in Florida. But we went from like 50 degrees to like 90. There was not really much of a transition, so our bodies can't really adjust to that in time. So it feels much hotter than I normally would feel at 90. Because I used to live in Houston. It was like 108 all the time. And it didn't bother me. But it's been like 95 here. And it has felt extremely hot. But the like heat index has been much higher than the actual temperature. And you love heat too, April, but it's just hot. Yeah. Yeah. Like I love heat too, but this is different. This is hot. Like my air conditioner's not keeping up. And I just had it serviced and it's like new. And like this is abnormally toasty. Like it's 74 in my house right now. And I've had my AC on all day. And it can't keep up. That's the coldest it's been able to make it. Which is crazy. Thank you, Annette. Thanks for the hand hearts. Thank you, Kim Possible. Thanks for reposting and sharing. And feel free to start writing your story. Hi, Mary. Your story requests in the chat in all capital letters. And I'll write them down and then we can vote. Welcome to the porch. Thank you, Kyle, for your first gift. Aw, thanks, Kyle. Shelly, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Kim. I see your questions. The choices, if you don't know any of the stories yet, you don't even have to worry about it. You can just hang out and get to know the stories. But if you would like to see a list, it is on my Discord page. There is a channel specifically for the story list, and our amazing Lovely adds to it every week. And that is a going list of all the stories I have, because there are over 100. But a lot of people fall asleep to my bedtime stories playlist on my YT channel. So that's kind of how they've gotten favorites that they love. And then I am over here reading them live. So you can hang out and just find ones you like. Or you can look at the list and go, that sounds interesting, and pick one. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. We just write the requests in, and then we don't vote until I put the poll up, and I will announce that too. So don't worry, you haven't missed the voting. I'm just writing down your story. Holly, that was so cute. Oh my God, I loved that. Camping. I've never seen that before. Thanks, Holly. I love that little pink tent. That was so cute. Of course, Kim. I'm glad you came back. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Hang out, relax. Also, Justin just pinned the Discord link right there. So if you'd like to join it. Hi, Lana. Oh, the music isn't on. Thank you so much for letting me know. I really appreciate you. That is not normal. And I appreciate it so much. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because that happened one other time and the story sounded so weird without music. Aww. Basuber? Yeah, there's a lot more people over on the TT, and usually no one really chats much in the YT. But I've been streaming over there a lot longer. But you can watch from either one. Some people kind of prefer the YT because there isn't much of it's a slower chat, and they don't really want to have to engage. They just want to be able to listen. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends on what your speed is. The YT is a little more chill. The TT is much more active. Oh, hi. Tell her I said hi, James. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Skrilla. Oh, thanks, Katie. I'm so glad. And Cassie, don't worry. Sycamore Diner is the last story of the night every night. And feel free, if you haven't yet, to write your story requests in all capital letters in the chat. And I'll write it down, and then we will vote. Allie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Can you hear the music now, Lana? Serber. Okay. Serber. Hi. You came over here. Hey! Welcome in, Serber. Thanks for letting me know how it's pronounced. I hate mispronouncing people's names. It drives me insane. Call MC, thanks for the follow. The music's working on YT now. Thank you so much, Kyle. Appreciate it. I just forgot to, there's like a weird workaround to get the music shared from my iTunes to there. I have to like do a screen share and then like enlarge. It's just, and I guess I forgot to do it. Hi, Linda. Yeah, Beefy, it's on the list. Check out the list. It's under the holiday stories. It was just for the lives. It's not on YT or anything like that, though. Holly, thanks for the hand hearts. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And, oh no, I never take it as rude. I like information. I love new knowledge, and I don't ever mind being corrected because I'd rather be corrected than sound like an idiot. So thank you. DNC, welcome in. Welcome to the porch. I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 1 in the morning. And I do write all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. I also have all the links in my bio if you can't find me. And I will take your requests, and I'm going to set up the first poll for us to vote for the first story. So sit back and relax. Thank you, Terry. Thanks, Monique. Thanks, Pixie. So sit back and relax. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, check out the shooting stars, and happy Thursday. Welcome to the porch. Lily, thank you. God, that's so pretty. I love it. Oh my God, Lily, that's so cute. Thanks. No, that wasn't Merlin. That was me just moving my little thing that holds the phone to the other side of the table. Everything just sounds extra loud because of my microphone. Thank you, Avril. Thank you, Bo. right, you guys, the first poll is ready. We have hi, Liz. April, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. We have the water babies, which is the new story of the week. Thank you, Lana. That's so cute. I need to be drinking that water. We have Haint Blue. We have the Mothman. We have Eliza Crawford's Ghost. And we have the Maintenance Man. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story, but it totals 50. Who's it going to be? The Water Babies of Pyramid Lake. Haint Blue. The Mothman. Eliza Crawford's Ghost. Or the Maintenance Man. Hi, Joanne. Welcome in. How are you feeling? I love that little turtle. He's so cute. Thank you, Lana. Is it Lana or Lana? Because with two N's, I feel like it's Lana. Irish Grad, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Shokamo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Oh, happy 4th of July, Joanne. Oh, cool, Lily. No rush at all. Okay, so it's Lana. Okay, cool. I actually love that name. All right, you guys, the winner is, no surprise, the Maintenance Man. Carlbot woke you up, Skrilla? Aww. That's so funny. I just realized his name's Carl. That's perfect for my next story. Perfect. Carlbot woke you up. Love that. Tommy set up Carlbot, so I don't even know how he works or how he got his name. I feel like Tommy probably named him Carl, but I love it. And he literally, it has better notifications than TT. That's why I started that community, was because no one was getting TT notifications of lives. And I was like, okay, well, Tommy says this one works better. So it's basically set up for chat and notifications. Oh my God. Lily, where'd you find a raccoon gift? Oh my God, he's so cute. You guys know how I feel about raccoons. Oh my God. And yes, Deborah, the Maintenance Man is deemed one of my scarier stories. So just a warning, Lovely usually pieces out when she hears this one, or Crawl Space. So it is deemed at the same level as Crawl Space or Man in Red Coat. So just a heads up, it is a human threat and people find those more scary. Yeah, so just a heads up, this is one of my scarier stories. It does involve something that is not supernatural, and it involves a human man, which is the scariest of all. Mwah. Be right back with the maintenance man. Skrill. Yeah, Justin will protect us for sure. Justin's one of the good, not scary man. Also, if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin and this is Porch Lore. I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. It's true, Pippa, they really are scarier. I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Tomorrow I will be starting an hour later than normal because I'm gonna go sit in my car and watch fireworks in a field by myself. I contemplated going live and showing you guys, but people tune in for bedtime stories and I feel like it would be very just like, it's gonna be like, you know, fireworks. That's pretty not sleepy stuff. So, I will be on at 11 tomorrow because the fireworks end at 10 and it's like the traffic and everything. You do, KJ? Yeah, me too. It's like, I want to see them. I'm not just going to like, and it's such a family holiday with people with their kids and stuff that I feel like once you're like, you get to a certain age, people aren't having like parties anymore. Everybody's like with their kids, like doing kid things and like, do you know what I mean? And so it's not really one of those holidays that like you get like invited to as much. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's more of a family holiday. And so I'm not going to miss fireworks. I still love them. I love fireworks. I've always have. I think they're so pretty. And so I'm just going to go watch them by myself. Because, plus I didn't really like grow up here. So like, you know, like I didn't really have a lot of, like, I don't have a lot of local friends besides like Angela. And she's found another gentleman with a lake house who offered her to come up and watch fireworks. And I'm just going to chill because I have you guys to come back to after the fireworks. I'm not trying to go up to some rando cabin and, you know, so we'll see. I may or may not go live from the fireworks or I'll go live afterwards. Either way, sit back and relax. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I pull up the first story, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner? There is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Lonnie, you're cute. I was actually supposed to be in Tahoe with one of my best friends, Taylor, but I think I already mentioned to you guys that we haven't seen each other in forever, like years. Okay, years. We're in touch all the time, but we haven't seen each other physically in years. She finally surprised me and booked me a flight to Tahoe in July to celebrate remember how I was going to change my birthday to July, and then she booked a movie. So we had to rebook the flight to August. And so now I'm going there in August instead. So I'm just going to chill in July. And I still want my birthday to be July 27th, but I won't be celebrating it until August. So that kind of took this wind out of my sails and trying to convince everybody that I changed my birthday. But it's okay. She tried. We both tried. It was like, she's such a good friend. I'm so lucky. Oh yeah, Brittany, I'll have someone, you just go to the live through my profile. Like if you go through my profile picture, or if you like go through a message, like here, I'll message you the live. And then go to it that way. Wait, why won't it show up? What's your name? Brittany, okay. I really don't like how TikTok shows a different name than what their name is that you can search. Because I just searched it's B and it didn't show up. I had to search Brittany. So dumb. Okay, I just sent it to you. Just go in through that way. Bubs, that would be great. I would love that. The radio, I don't really, do people still listen to the radio? Like, do you mean like the AM/FM radio? Or do you mean like iHeartRadio or streaming radio services? But yes, I would like to. That would be fun. That would be amazing. Someday. Let's manifest that, Bubs. Okay? Let's manifest that. I listen to Sirius radio. All right, guys, thanks for the repost and the shares. I'll be right back with the tale of the maintenance man. That's really cool, Holly. I didn't know that. I hate how the banners, I know. Did you see that I'm trying to fix it? Is it Skrilla? I was actually going to tell you that I was going to be closer in August. These banners are really like, why are they doing that? It's like twitching. It's ever since they updated Studio. And now it's like, so if you guys see me moving the banner and resizing it, and like Beefy just did, it's because, just like he said, the banner spazzes out and it drives me insane. And I know it's not fun for you guys to look at either. But like, I actually have to keep it up there regardless of whether I want to, because it shows movement on the screen. Yeah, Skrilla, we could take highway, the Devil's Highway. I can try, Skrilla. I can try. When I first made these stories, I did not ever have an intention of reading them live. So when I just randomly decided to do it one night, I was on camera. I didn't have the backgrounds to my stories or anything, and it just took off. Like, I went from having 30 people in my live to over 200, like the first or second time I did it. So I was like, okay, I think people want to hear me read my stories live. So thanks, Gabby. So then I panic, like, And those of you who've been with me since the beginning know that like I still don't have all of the unexplained stories, but I didn't have all of the bedtime stories available to read live for a while because, thanks Bubs, because I had to like format the background pictures. Thank you. Well, I am a professional storyteller. I was a news reporter and I went to school for that, but I didn't plan on doing like my bedtime stories live. But so half of these images, like this one was one of the original ones that I transferred over. And if you notice, it has the old logo. See the little piece of wood that's like brown? Like hardly any of the others have that, because this was like the OG one and I didn't know how to like format them yet. And I just like basically squished, like Skrilla said, I squished it into the frame because I didn't know how to make the backgrounds. And so I've kept this one, but I've slowly redone the old ones, like Hug and Molly. She's been redone. Hers was like one of the OG ones and it looked terrible. And so I redid it finally. But this is one of the last remaining original ones. And I should probably redo it. But for now, I haven't. I'll be right back. Quick swig. And thank you to everybody writing keywords in the chat throughout the night. If you need an example, check out Deborah. She's hilarious and she has the best ones. Hi, Darren. Welcome back. Hi, Elle. Thank you so much. Hi, Julie. Hi, Rachel. Tina, thank you. Hi, Josie. Thank you, James, for the rose. Hi, Ashley. Desiree, thanks for the gamer kitty. Jim, thank you for the hand hearts. Thanks, guys. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the maintenance man. I've lived in apartment complexes my whole adult life. College years, post-grad limbo. That weird phase where you think you'll buy a house soon, but you never quite do. So by now, I've seen my share of flickering hallway lights, weird neighbors, and overly familiar building managers. But nothing prepared me for what happened at Tower Hill Apartments. It started right after I moved in early March, rainy season in North Carolina. I had been living with a roommate in Durham, but after a bad breakup and a worse job transfer, I took the first one bedroom that I could find. Tower Hill was cheap. It had a decent view of a creek, and if you know me, I am obsessed with being near natural bodies of water. Plus, it was only a 15-minute drive from my office. The only catch was that it was old. And not the charming old that I usually look for. No, this place was just the unmaintained kind of old. The kind of place with water stains on the ceiling and mailboxes that didn't lock and dumpsters that stayed full. but affordable rent is hard to find in a short time frame, and I wasn't really in a position to be picky. My first interaction with the building's maintenance man was when my kitchen light went out. I'd only been there 4 days. I submitted a work request online like the leasing office told me to, and about an hour later, I heard a knock. He introduced himself as Charlie, mid-50s, beard that looked like steel wool. He wore a gray shirt with a faded patch that read staff. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Sarah. He didn't talk much. He just nodded when I explained the issue and climbed up on my counter and replaced the light bulb with one he pulled from his pocket. And that was the first time I noticed the smell. Something about him reeked like rust and mold. It wasn't really body odor exactly. He smelled more like old metal. But I didn't say anything. He fixed the light, climbed off the counter, nodded at me again, and left. I saw him again 3 days later. I was getting my mail after work, and I saw him crouched behind the building, facing away from me. It was getting dark, but I could see that he was messing with something on the wall. It almost looked like he was prying open a metal grate with a screwdriver. I called out to him like, "Hey, Charlie," but he didn't turn around. He didn't even flinch. He just kept fiddling with the grate like I wasn't even there. Okay, weird, but harmless. Or so I thought. The next night, I was woken up by a sound. A dull thump, like something hitting my front door. I opened the door a crack and there was nothing in the hallway but a light buzzing and the flickering like it always did. But when I looked down, there was a small black object sitting on my doormat. It was a key. Not my apartment key. It was long and narrow and old-fashioned. It was brass and tarnished. There was no note and no explanation. I left it on the kitchen counter and I went back to bed. Skrilla. I was unnerved, but I was honestly too tired at that point to care. The next morning, I took the key down to the leasing office, and the receptionist was new, and she barely glanced at me before saying that it probably belonged to an old unit or storage shed. She offered to take it, but I said I would hold on to it just in case. That night, my bedroom light turned on by itself. I woke up around 2 a.m. to full brightness. Even though I never used the overhead fixture, I always just used the lamp beside my bed. So I sat up, my heart pounding, and I looked around. The bedroom door was closed and nothing was out of place. But the light switch had been flipped on and I live alone. Beefy. At first, I told myself, maybe I bumped it on the way to bed. Maybe I'd been more tired than I thought. But then I noticed something else. My closet door was open. Just a few inches, but I always closed the door to my closet. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. By the next morning, I'd almost convinced myself, it was nothing. Maybe the lock hadn't caught all the way. Maybe I dreamed it. But when I went to brush my teeth, I found a smudged fingerprint on the mirror that was too high and too wide to be mine. I emailed the leasing office and I told them I thought someone might have entered my unit. They said they'd look into it, but I didn't hold my breath. That Friday, I got home late around 11:30, and I was walking up the stairs when I saw something strange. My apartment door was open, just wide enough to see the corner of my coffee table. Oh my God. I froze. I know I locked it. I'm OCD and I'm a woman who lives alone. I always double check. My keys with my mace keychain were in my hand. My heart was racing, pounding in my throat. I crept up to the door and I pushed it open slowly. The apartment was dark and quiet, but something felt off. The air smelled different, like old wood and some kind of chemical. I got goosebumps all over. It was the kind of instinctive full body alert that tells me I'm not alone. So I listened to my intuition and I quickly backed out of that apartment. I shut the door quietly and I called the police from my car. They came and they did a sweep and nothing was stolen, nothing was broken, and there were no signs of forced entry. They told me it was probably a maintenance worker who forgot to lock up after a routine inspection. And when I asked what routine inspection, they didn't have an answer. So then I asked the people at the building if there was a man named Charlie on the staff. And that's when they told me there was no one by that name working there. What? I didn't sleep that night. I didn't sleep much at all for the next week or so. Who was it that changed my light bulb? Then, the smell started showing up again. I'd walk into the bathroom and I'd catch a whiff of that same coppery scent. I'd come out to my kitchen in the mornings and my dishes, I swear, would be rearranged. Sometimes my bedroom blinds would be open slightly when I knew I closed them. Sometimes I would hear sounds at night, almost like soft dragging and footsteps in the hallway. The floor creaking and the front door lock clicking softly, like someone was trying it from the outside. And then came the knocking. Every night at 3 a.m. Just 3 slow knocks on the front door. Never less and never more. I stopped checking, and I would just curl under my blankets and wait for morning. One night after a particularly bad episode, I drove to my friend Riley's place across town. I told her that I just needed a few nights away, and I didn't tell her the real reason. I just said that I was having plumbing issues, and she didn't press it any further. That night at her place, I slept straight through the night. It was amazing. Rich, I like how you noticed my Shakespeare reference. Thank you. There was no knocking, no lights turning on, and no weird smells. I stayed there for 3 glorious days. I finally broke down and told Riley about what had been happening, and her jaw dropped. She told me that I was not safe and that I should just go back, grab some of my things from the apartment, and come stay with her until we get this figured out. Pretty much, Bisbee. Yeah, Shakespeare in French Montana. I'm if nothing if not complex. When I finally went back to the apartment to pick up some clothes and other belongings, I found something that really creeped me out. Pinned to my door with a nail was a piece of paper, no envelope, just folded once with my name scrawled in shaky handwriting across it. Inside was a note that read, "You shouldn't have left." I wasn't done yet. Below that, drawn in smeared pencil, was the shape of that key. The old brass one. The one that I'd left in my sock drawer over at Riley's place. I opened the door slowly, holding my breath, and the apartment was ice cold and quiet. I stepped inside and I found everything normal. Almost too normal. That stage kind of normal, like someone has tried to reset the space, but they didn't quite know what it looked like before. The books on the shelves were out of order, and the coffee mugs were all turned the same way, and I'm not that perfect. My toothbrush was on the charger when I usually leave it in my shower. And on the table right in the center was the key. I left that night. I broke my lease. I paid the penalty. I didn't care, and I moved in with Riley for good after that. But right before the lease ended, Riley got curious. She said she wanted to go snoop around the apartment while we still had the key. Riley never came back. They found her car in the parking lot, keys in the ignition. Her purse was in the passenger seat, and her phone had a final photo on it taken at 3 a.m. It was a blurry shot of my old front door, and standing just to the side of the frame was a man. Gray shirt, faded staff patch, half of his face visible, and grinning. When the cops checked the apartment again, they found a hidden panel in the back of the bedroom closet. Behind it was a narrow space that led into the walls. Inside were old food wrappers, empty water bottles, a nest of blankets that reeked of copper and mildew. And in the middle of it all, stuck to the wall with duct tape, was a Polaroid picture of me sleeping. They never found Charlie, and they never found Riley. I moved out of that building and that town, and I never looked back. And that's the tale of the maintenance man. And I wrote that one because as someone who has lived with a lot of maintenance men, the fact that they have keys to every single place and access to everything always creeped me the fuck out. And I just and you can't choose your maintenance man. So if you rent somewhere and then you get there and he's a fucking creep, you're like, well, that's great. Awesome. This creep has access to my place whenever he wants. Yeah. So that was actually based off of a real horror of mine, a real terror. Yes, I write all of these stories, Aiden. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for me and you will just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. Good night, Ruth. Thank you, Ron. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Michigander. I also have a bedtime stories playlist on my YT channel where you can listen to all of these recorded by me and fall asleep. You can hit shuffle or play all and be out by the second story usually. Gigi, thank you for the follow. Allie, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch, guys. No, Glossette, I didn't see that, but I don't have anything Halloween related. Hi, Scream Queen. Thanks, Bubs. Hi, Brian. How you doing? All right, guys, I am going to set up the next poll for us to vote. Thank you, Brittany, for writing keywords. Love you. Yes, Aiden, I'm glad you followed. Glad you made it back. Welcome to the porch. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Hi, Amanda. Hi, E Online. How are you? All right, you guys, I'll set up the next poll. And if you could do me a big favor while I'm doing that, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There is a little yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Oh my gosh, thank you for the kicker challenge, Bisbee. That's so cute. Also, sharing to your story and sharing with your friends helps immensely. Also, thank you for all of the taps, you guys. And I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the porch. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, She-Wolf and Bisbee, for helping me complete the first Cozy Cryptid goal. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Lily, for the cute good night. Okay, sweet dreams. Love ya. Okay, you guys, the first poll is ready, or the second poll is ready. We have the water babies of Pyramid Lake, which is the new story of the week. We have Amanda, Justin will do it for you. Oh, I'm so glad, Joe. Hey, Amanda, just let us know in the chat and Justin will go over there and vote for you. He's a sweetie because there's really no way to do it on my tea. So he just offers to vote for you guys. So let us know which one you'd like to hear and then Justin will do it. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay, we have the water babies of Pyramid Lake. We have the Honey Island Swamp Monster. Hi, Jason. Thank you, Justin. We have the Melon Heads of Ohio. We have the Haint of Hug and Molly of Alabama. And we have the Carved Stone. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box. We have the Water Babies of Pyramid Lake, the Honey Island Swamp Monster, the Melon Heads, the Haint of Hug and Molly, and the Carved Stone. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? Talon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Justin, Amanda said she would like the water babies. Skrilla, are you over there? Are you watching them both? Hi, Annabella, how are you? Welcome to the porch. Yep, you're right. I think this just proves my point now. And that's good. I can use that. I can use that strategically. Yeah, you love Halloween. We do Halloween all year, Aiden. Thank you for the hand hearts, Jess. Hi, Kim. Kim White, hello. Aw, thanks, Annabella. That's so sweet of you. Kim White, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Peter. And yes, Joe, I do. I write all the stories myself. Brittany. All right, you guys, the winner is the Water Babies of Pyramid Lake. And guess what, you guys? I found out Pyramid Lake is very close to Lake Tahoe. And I told my friend Taylor I wanted to go see the water babies. And she said, as you wish. Because she's like, I'm always getting her into hijinks and all kinds of stuff. But she's usually pretty down for an adventure. And she's more athletic than me. So like if it came down to it, she'd probably escape. Scroll up. Also, I just wanted to point out, you guys, that I know there's a lot of Kims, right? Lady Rose, I love that. I also just wanted to point out, Jasmine, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Wait, where'd it go? Never mind, I can't find it now. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome in. Oh, hi, Capri Sun. Virginia City. That would be really cool. All right, guys, I'll be right back with the tale of the water babies, the new story of the week. Be right back. Okay, Peter, I'll check them out. That sounds cool. Arian, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Also, guys, just a reminder, I do have a merch site that's on the pink banner up above. Lots of fun, cute, spooky stuff. It's not all just branded stuff. A lot of it is like funny Mothman koozies and cryptid t-shirts and stuff like that. And included in that are prints of my backgrounds. So if you guys ever like a background and you would like it in a framed print, just write print request in all capital letters in the chat during that story, and I will write it down. And if it's not already on the site, I will add it. So just to let you guys know. And thank you to everybody tapping. Yeah, that's a good point, Brittany. Let's get some tapping going if you guys could. That would be amazing. And quick swig. And hi, Julia. And I'll be right back with the tale of the water babies. Thank you, Justin. Justin just pinned the store if you guys want to check it out. And you don't have to buy anything. It's just fun. If you guys will like to see, I think, some of the stories I put into merch and stuff like that. It's just a good time. Okay, Julia, I hope you like it. Starlight, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And Believe, welcome to the porch. Thanks for the follow. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society, this is the tale of the water babies of Pyramid Lake. Thank you, Mary. I fixed it. It wasn't a nevermind. I saw your comment and I fixed it. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know, Mary. Thank you so much, Rainbows. I really appreciate it. This story is about a lake in northern Nevada and my encounter with the water babies. Pyramid Lake sits inside the Pyramid Lake Paiute Reservation, about 40 miles northeast of Reno. Thank you, Jesse. It's one of the last surviving remnants of ancient Lake Lahontan, a massive inland sea that once covered much of Nevada during the Ice Age. Hi, Ange. When the water receded thousands of years ago, it left behind a landscape that feels almost deliberate in its geometry. Thank you, Jamie. Sharp desert ridges, pale volcanic cliffs, and massive limestone tufa formations rising out of the lake like abandoned architecture. For the northern Paiute, Pyramid Lake is not just a body of water. It's a living presence, a place where folklore and history overlap. And within Pyramid Lake, there is one story that appears again and again across generations. The tale of the water babies. Different elders describe them differently, and I want to be careful here because this isn't a single fixed mythology. It's a tradition passed down through families. Some say the water babies are the spirits of children lost to the lake long ago. Others describe them as beings that have always belonged there, older than any memory of human settlement, elementals. But what almost every version agrees on is simple. Sometimes, near the shoreline, you can hear crying. Not loud and not distant, just close enough that you instinctively look to see where it's coming from. And the warning that accompanies that story is always the same. If you hear them, you don't follow. Pyramid Lake itself is deceptively calm, beautiful from a distance, but unpredictable in ways that don't reveal themselves right away. The shoreline drops suddenly into deep water. Underwater ledges collapse. Winds often appear without warning and turn calm water into dangerous, choppy waves in minutes. It has taken people like experienced swimmers and fishermen, people who knew the lake far better than most ever will. I first came across the story of the water babies when my friend Ben, also known as Beefy, sent me a few tourism articles about Pyramid Lake and told me to look into it. Most travel guides mention Pyramid Lake for photography, the color of the water, the surreal rock formations, and the quiet, peaceful isolation. But what caught my attention were the references to something else in the visitor accounts. People hearing children crying along the shoreline. And once I mentioned a road trip to Ben and my friend Jade, They both agreed to head down from Oregon to go on the adventure with me. We wanted to check out the lake for ourselves. We arrived early in the morning just after sunrise, which is impressive because none of us are usually morning people, but we were all excited. The drive in is long, and at a certain point the landscape begins to flatten into open desert before the lake just suddenly appears. One moment there's nothing but dry earth and sagebush. And then the next, the entire horizon is filled with water reflecting the sky. There's no gradual transition into it. It just arrives and almost takes your breath away. We spent the morning walking sections of the shoreline, photographing tufa formations and the patterns the water made on the rocks. By early afternoon, we found ourselves in a quieter stretch of beach where there were no visible visitors. We sat down on a flat stone to take a break and eat something. And as we sat there, we took a moment to look out over the landscape. I was honestly in awe of how much space there was out here. So I suggested we all savor the moment and take a deep breath together and just appreciate being alive somewhere this beautiful. And that was when we heard it. A child crying. It wasn't far away. It sounded like it came from somewhere along the waterline. My first reaction wasn't fear. It was concern. So we stood up and started following the shoreline, looking around, expecting to see someone with a child, maybe a family farther down the beach. But there was no one. No movement, no vehicles, just the lake. Ben suggested that maybe we misheard it. Some birds can produce calls that sound very human. And I agreed he had a point. So we kept walking. About 10 minutes later, we heard it again. The same sound, the same clarity. But this time it came from behind us. We turned around immediately, but there was nothing there. Just the shoreline stretching in both directions, as far as we could see. So we continued walking. The shoreline began to narrow slightly as the terrain shifted into more exposed rock. The lake was still calm, almost mirror-like in places, reflecting the pale sky. And that's when Jade noticed footprints near the water's edge. Small, bare, fresh. They moved parallel to the shoreline for a short distance before just stopping abruptly. Not fading, not disappearing gradually, just stopping. Mary. The three of us just stood there at the footprints trying to figure out what we were seeing. A family had to have been here, right? That was really the only reasonable explanation. Children run ahead and parents lag behind, but there were no adult prints. None at all. And then the crying sound came again. And that was when Jade pointed at movement further down the shoreline. Ben and I followed in the direction she gestured, and that's when we saw them. 3 children. At first, I just assumed that their parents must be nearby. I looked around and nothing. No chairs, no towels, no vehicles, no adults. The children stood shoulder to shoulder, their backs to us, all facing out toward the lake. After a few moments, all three turned around, slowly, in unison, until they were all facing us now. Okay, that's creepy. We couldn't make out their faces from that distance, so I raised my hand and waved. None of them moved. Ben suggested that maybe they needed help, so we slowly started walking toward them. We figured maybe they were frightened kids who couldn't find their parents along the long shoreline. We'd only taken about a dozen steps when the crying began again. Only now, it wasn't coming from the lake. It seemed to come from somewhere between us and the children. We stopped walking, and they remained exactly where they were, watching us. Then the crying stopped suddenly, and then there was silence. Then another cry, this time behind us. All three of us turned around instinctively, but the shoreline was empty. I remember Ben repeating, "Don't panic, don't panic." I'm not sure whether to reassure us or himself. We took a few steps backward, and then the children took a few steps forward, toward the shore. Again, perfectly in unison. So we stepped back again, and again they each took a step forward, still synchronized, and still silent, and still facing us. At this point, all three of us agreed that we would just slowly turn around and begin walking back the way we had come, quickly. And that's when the crying returned. It echoed across the shoreline from every direction. But none of us looked back, we just kept power walking. And eventually the crying faded. And then it stopped altogether. When we finally reached the car, we turned around and the beach was empty. There were no children, no footprints, no movement anywhere along the shoreline. Just the lake, calm and quiet. We sat there in the car for several minutes before driving away, just in shock, trying to process what we think just happened to us. I don't know what we saw that evening. I don't know if those were real children. Maybe our minds connected an old legend with an unfamiliar landscape and we just filled in the blanks. Or maybe, for just a few moments, we experienced something that generations of people before us had also experienced. What I do know is this. The Northern Paiute never needed scientific proof for every mystery connected to Pyramid Lake. They lived with that landscape. They listened to it, and they respected it. And maybe that's why their stories have survived for so long. not because they answer every question, but because they remind us that not everything exists for us to explain. Some places ask us to be curious. Others ask us to be humble. And every once in a while, if we're lucky, a place lets us leave with a mystery instead of an answer. And I think that's exactly what Pyramid Lake gave us. And that's the tale of the water babies of Pyramid Lake. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Right, Julia? It would be terrifying. Yep. Thank you, DNC. Vanessa, thank you for the follow. Leo Big Apple, thank you for the follow. Really strange? Why do you hate it? Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. Thank you, Leo. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. And I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. There are recordings of these stories. Hi, Matt. Hi, Fluffy Pancakes. Fluffy Pancakes sounds really good right now, actually. I love pancakes. So if you just look for Porch Lore, you will find me on YT or any of the podcast streaming sites. And all of the links are in my bio as well. Angry Beaver and Alexis, thank you for the follows. Welcome to the porch. All right, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm setting that up, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch with cool people instead of trolls. Also, thank you to everybody writing keywords throughout the night in the chat. That does help AI figure out what this live is about, and it gives us a little bit more freedom to talk about whatever we want because it doesn't get confused. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for the repost, sharing to your stories, and all of the taps. I'll be right back with the next poll. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Happy Thursday. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have... Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Okay, we have Spearfinger, the Chupacabra. Hi, Guinevere. The Chupacabra, the Bell Witch, the White Witch of Rose Hall, and the Old Lighthouse. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. We have Spearfinger, the Chupacabra, the Bell Witch, the White Witch of Rose Hall, and the Old Lighthouse. Who's it gonna be? And yes, I agree with Matt. Great job on the live today, James. You did a great job. All right, you guys. Yep, it's time for the Tale of the Old Lighthouse. And you guys know what that means. That's what that means, right, Justin? All right, you guys. I will be right back with the Tale of the Old Lighthouse featuring me and my boyfriend Travis that everybody hates. Be right back. Yeah, Holly, I'll do that. Scarlett, look at Scarlett. Scarlett just popped in the chat and goes, I heard Travis. She's here. Where's Sherry? Y'all know we need spooky, scary Sherry. Where's spooky, scary Sherry? Yeah, Skrilla. Guys, Skrilla's not familiar. Oh, look, Anthony just got here. Perfect timing. Anthony hates him too. Hi, Anthony. We miss you. We love you. Oh, Sarah, they will tell you. Aw, thanks, Anthony. I love you. You've been gone a while. We miss you so much. We're glad you're back. I mean, I feel like we need to get Jade in here. Jade's the one that started it. She's the one and lovely. That's what you said, lovely. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Riverman. Laura, thank you so much for the galaxy. Laura, thanks. All right, guys, quick swig, and we're back with the old lighthouse. Thank you, Matt. I love those. They're so pretty. I liked when they had the mystery firework gift. Do you remember that? And it like was a different thing every time. Yeah, me too, Justin. I sent her an invite. I hope she's okay. I miss her. Thank you, Scout. Welcome in, cutie. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the old lighthouse. Yeah, Anthony. Hi, Lacey. So, if you guys didn't know, my boyfriend's name is Travis. And Travis and I needed a break from the city. We wanted a break from the noise, the traffic, and the constant grind. We didn't want to fly anywhere far, just a quick drive to somewhere isolated and peaceful. After some searching, we found this old lighthouse on the coast of Maine that had been converted into a rental. It looked perfect. Secluded, right on the edge of the ocean, and surrounded by nothing but cliffs and waves. So we booked it immediately. Kim. The drive was about 6 hours, and we arrived just as the sun was setting. The lighthouse was exactly as advertised. Tall, white, and weathered by years of salt and wind. It stood on a jagged cliff with a narrow dirt path leading to it. The owner, an older man named Harold, met us at the door. He was friendly enough, but there was something off about him. Thank you, Holly. Burly. Skrilla, are you seeing this chat? They hate. He kept glancing over his shoulder at the ocean like he was expecting something to come out of the ocean. He gave us a quick tour, handed us the keys, and left without another word. The inside of the lighthouse was cozy but eerie. The walls were lined with old nautical maps and black and white photos of ships. The spiral staircase leading up to the lantern room creaked with every step. And the windows were fogged with salt. But the view was breathtaking. You could see the ocean stretching out for miles, the waves crashing against the rocks below. It was exactly what we needed. We unpacked, made some dinner together, and settled in for the night. The first night was uneventful. Just the sound of the waves and the occasional gust of wind rattling the windows. It felt spooky and cozy. But the next morning, things started to get weird. Travis woke up before me. I am not a morning person. And so he decided to explore the lantern room at the top of the lighthouse. His frantic stomping back down the stairs woke me up. He looked pale, and I asked him what was wrong. And he said that there was something up there. I laughed it off at first, thinking he was just messing with me, but he was dead serious. He said he saw a shadow moving in the corner of the room. But when he turned to look, there was nothing there. Really, they do, Skrilla. Mackenzie's like, what did he cook? I didn't really think much of it at the time because, old buildings are full of creaks and shadows. He's my boyfriend that everyone hates, Riverman. But later that day, we decided to explore the area around the lighthouse. There was a small trail that led to the beach, and we thought it would be nice to take a walk. As we were walking, Travis pointed out something in the sand. It was a pair of footprints, small, like a child's. But they were leading toward the water, not away from it, and they just stopped. Like whoever made them and just walked into the ocean and never came back. It's so funny, Riverman. It's so funny. We tried to brush it off, but the rest of the day felt off. The air was heavier and the waves seemed louder, almost angry. When we got back to the lighthouse, we noticed something strange. The door to the lantern room was open, but we were sure that we had closed it earlier. So Travis went up to check, and when he came back down, he was shaking. He said he had heard whispering up there, like it was coming from the walls. But when he tried to listen closer, it stopped. That night, things got worse. We were sitting in the living room watching a movie, cuddling, when we heard a loud thud upstairs. Anthony. We both froze. Travis grabbed his inadequate flashlight and went to check it out, but he didn't find anything. When he came back down, he looked even more shaken. He said that the upstairs felt colder, like someone had opened a window, but all the windows were locked. We tried to go to bed early, but neither of us could sleep. Then around 2 a.m. we heard it again. A loud thud, followed by the sound of footsteps on the spiral staircase. This time, we both decided to investigate. And the staircase was empty. But when we got to the lantern room, we saw something that made my blood run cold. The lantern, the one that hadn't been lit in decades, was glowing faintly. Thank you, lovely. And in the corner of the room, there was a shadow. It was small like a child, but it didn't move. It just stood there watching us. We ran back downstairs and we locked ourselves in the bedroom. Travis wanted to leave right then, but it was pitch black outside and the nearest town was miles away. So we decided to wait until morning. But the rest of the night was a nightmare. We heard footsteps pacing outside our door. And at one point, the doorknob even started rattling. Travis grabbed his knife and he stood by the door, ready to defend us if it opened. but it never did. When the sun finally came up, we packed our things as fast as we could and we got the hell out of there. As we were driving away, I looked back at the lighthouse, and for a split second I thought I saw a figure standing in the lantern room. But when I blinked, it was gone. We didn't talk much on the drive home. When we got back, I did some research on the lighthouse. Turns out, it had a dark history. In the early 1900s, a family lived there. A lighthouse keeper, his wife, and their young son. One night during a storm, the wife and the son disappeared. When questioned, the lighthouse keeper claimed they had been swept out to sea, but their bodies were never found. People believed he had killed them and hidden their bodies in the lighthouse. And then the lighthouse was abandoned for years after that. Until Harold bought it and turned it into an Airbnb. I don't know what we experienced that weekend. Maybe it was the wind, maybe it was just shadows. Maybe it was our imagination playing tricks on us. Justin. But there was something that didn't want us there. Kim says that'll do it. And that's the tale of the old lighthouse, also known as Everyone Hates Travis. Kim, thanks for the manifesting crystal ball. And like, he didn't even do anything wrong in the story, you guys. And you guys are just like, fuck that guy. Beltane Fox chimed in and said, at this point, I would trade a Karen for Travis. Beltane Fox chimed in. I love that. Oh, and Rochelle says he's a wanka. Oh, you guys are so funny. I love you guys. Wait, what did Jenna say? Who's Jenna? Oh, Jenna said, yo, my feral cat just let me hold her baby. Oh my God, Jenna, that's amazing. Oh, I love it so much. She trusts you. Fluffy Pancakes, Travis was my boyfriend who I wrote into that story, and everybody hates him. Yeah, she said he didn't do anything. I just deserve better. And that's true, I guess. I guess you're right. I feel like Lovely thinks I deserve better because she wants a guy that's going to throw my ass over his shoulder and carry me out to the car and force me to leave these scary places. That's what Lovely imagines for me. It's the guy that drags me out of these places. James said he woke up when you were sleeping. Yes, but to be fair, I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl. So like my schedule, most people can't accommodate my schedule. So most people I've ever been with wake up while I'm still sleeping. And that's like totally fine with me. That doesn't really bother me. You said you two love it. Yeah, like it doesn't really bother me. But he did wake me up with the stomping, but that's okay. I'm one of those people where I can fall back asleep. I'm not even one of those people where like, if I wake up and I'm up forever. Nope. Your girl can pass. I can go right back. I can go back to sleep. I'm actually one of those people where it's like hard to get me out of sleep. Like I'll fall back asleep like 3 times before I'm actually up. Yeah. And that's the thing, Jace, is Travis probably used to watch I think he used to watch Porch Lore. And then one day he said he wasn't going to watch it anymore. And I'm pretty sure it's because everybody in here hates him. I can stay up with you. I'm not a deep sleeper though. Like I don't like sleep through like alarms and stuff. I can go back to sleep. But yeah, Jace, he maybe he's still watching, I don't know. Do you guys remember when that Travis came in the chat? you guys were all like, no, you don't have to feel bad for him. He is a douchebag. Yes, do you remember that? Lovely, yeah. He's from Australia. And it was like it was entertaining. Yeah, he says nar, and I hate it too. The nar. But I will say this, Patsy, that's what started the whole thing. Is Jade said, I can't believe you didn't tell me you had a boyfriend, and I can't believe his name is Travis. And then she says in the chat, I have never met a Travis that wasn't a fuck boy. Straight up in the chat. And I was like, Jade. And then every single person I feel like in the chat was like, same. Yep, never in my life. Amanda, thank you. That's so, what is it? Matchmaster. And so people, hi, Mr. Kitty. And so people basically all chimed in and they were like, yeah, dude, she's, and everybody was like, Jade's right. There's no way he's not a douche. And it just became a really funny thing. And yeah, Beefy's brother's name is Travis. And he claims he's good. But nobody believes him. All right, you guys. I'm going to set up the next poll. Could you guys do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There's a little yellow circle. You know a good Travis, Nikki? Oh my God, see? We got another one. There's a yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Manoa. Who's that? Also, guys, feel free to write keywords in the chat so that thanks Mr. Kitty, see you later. Feel free to write keywords in the chat so we don't get a bunch of Travises in here. Just saying. Because can you imagine how confused someone named Travis would be if they came in, hi Rhyme, and the whole chat is talking shit about Travis. Like, what did I just come into? Like, see, Skrilla, I told you. It's heavy. It's heavy, Travis. Loathing. What's next time, Anthony? Thank you, Cats and Coffee. Thank you, Amanda. I'm just setting up the poll, guys, so we can vote for the next one. Graveyard shift. By the way, guys, there's Travis right there. Graveyard shift. We love you. It's not your fault that you have the same name as a character in the story that they don't like. I swear. We love you. I promise we love you, Graveyard shift. All right, you guys. Okay, Matt, we'll see you in a little bit. The next poll is ready. I know it is still so hot out, right? It's still so hot. Was there lovely? I love that. We love Travis's, we promise. Just not the one in that story. Everybody doesn't like him. But all the others are cool. Okay, guys. We have on the next poll, we have the Bell Witch. Guess whose desk is in standing mode right now? Wait, what? Wait, what does that even mean? Okay, we have the Bell Witch, the Natchez Trace, the Dogman of Michigan, the Hitchhiker, and the Appalachian Doppelganger. And you guys can vote in the top left-hand corner in the blue box. And you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Good night, Anthony. We love you. Sweet dreams. We're so glad you came to say hi. Hi, Tater Tot. I don't know, Nikki. Maybe. Good night, Anthony. Sweet dreams. We love you. We miss you. We're glad you're here. All right, we got the Bell Witch, Natchez Trace, Dogman of Michigan, the Hitchhiker, and the Appalachian Doppelganger. Come back again soon, Anthony. We miss you very much. The Water Babies. Lovely. The Tale of the Water Babies. Oh wait, the Water Babies of Pyramid Lake. The Water Babies of Pyramid Lake. Skrilla, that's what it means. Oh. Lovely. That would have been really funny if you did. Who said that, Beefy? Oh, thank you for the hamster playing the drums. Graveyard shift. That's so cute. I love that little guy. Thank you. So you guys, Travis gives hamsters playing drums. How cute is that? Yeah, exactly, Travis. And the winner is the Natchez Trays featuring Leslie. Is she in here? I love how Travis was just like laying low once it started. He was like, oh shit. Oh shit. He's probably like, do I say anything? Do I let them know I'm here? Oh, he's so cool. I love it. Water boy when H2O was mentioned. Yeah, big duh, because he goes, that's some high quality H2O. Ashley, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, exactly, lovely. Leslie's nacho trees. What? Beefy, did you take your nighttime medis? Beefy, did you take your new nighttime medis? I knew it. He said maybe. because he warned me that he was gonna start taking new meds. Hi Millie, I miss you. Hi cutie. You should totally get one, Beefy. That would be so awesome. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the spirits of Natchez Trace. Featuring Leslie, who I don't think is here tonight, but she usually is. Thank you, Millie. Thank you, Suzanne. The Natchez Trace has a way of looking harmless at first. That was the first thing Leslie said as we pulled onto the parkway just north of Tupelo. The trees closing in on both sides like a tunnel made of green. She'd grown up in Mississippi, not far from the Trace, and talked about it the way people talk about something that's always been there, like a river, or an old church you pass every Sunday without ever going inside. I had flown in the day before, still half disoriented from travel, my brain buzzing with that jittery excitement that comes from being somewhere unfamiliar. We had the windows down, the music too loud, cruising. And Leslie joked about how I insisted on bringing snacks as if we were heading into the wilderness instead of a scenic highway. But the thing about the Natchez Trace is that it used to be wilderness. Long before it was a parkway, it was a footpath, a trade route, a migration corridor, a place where entire lives passed through and sometimes ended. Native American tribes traveled it for centuries. Later came traders, settlers, soldiers, and so-called cane ducks, who walked home after floating goods down the Mississippi River, many of them never making it back. We planned to spend 2 days driving sections of the Trace, stopping at historical markers, walking some of the old sunken paths, and maybe, if we felt brave, checking out a few places locals whispered about. Ghost camps, unmarked graves, places where people claimed the woods felt wrong. At first it felt peaceful, almost too peaceful. The trees were tall and close together, filtering the sunlight into soft green sheets. There were long stretches with no other cars, no cell service, and no sound except wind and tires on pavement. Every few miles there'd be a small pull-off with a sign explaining something that happened 200 years ago. Our first real stop was a sunken section of the original Trace, where centuries of feet had worn the path so deeply into the earth that it sat several feet below the surrounding forest floor. Standing at the top of it looking down felt like peering into a shallow grave carved by time itself. As we walked, Leslie talked. She always talked when she was nervous, turning the history into humor. Our footsteps echoed, but not consistently. Sometimes it felt like there were more steps than just ours. I chalked it up to acoustics. At one of the pull-offs, we stopped near a place locals call the Witch Dance. I noticed offerings tucked near the base of a tree, coins, a ribbon tied around a branch. Leslie noticed them too, but we just kept walking. That night, we stayed in a small motel, not far from the trace. Nothing fancy, the kind of place where the doors open directly to the parking lot and the ice machine sounds like it's dying. Over takeout, we went through our photos. Most were normal, trees, trails, signs. But one photo made us pause. It was from the sunken path. It was Leslie walking ahead of me. There was a light in front of her that didn't look right. I zoomed in and then out and couldn't tell what it was. The next day we went deeper. We stopped at Rock Spring and then an old section of the trace known for stories about travelers disappearing. Leslie mentioned the ghost lights people claimed to see at night. They were floating orbs that moved just above the tree line, and they sometimes followed cars. She laughed when she said it, but then I could see her checking her mirrors more than necessary. Later, we reached a quieter stretch of road where the forest felt heavier. The air smelled damp, like rain that hadn't fallen. And that's when we found ourselves in the Witch Dance clearing. The ground there was really dead. It was a circular patch where nothing would grow, stark against the living green around it. Leslie made a joke about cursed long hair, but neither of us stepped into it. We just stood at the edge instinctively. The wind picked up suddenly, spiraling through the clearing, and the trees creaked. And that was when we both felt it, a sense that we were standing somewhere we weren't supposed to linger. So we left shortly after. As dusk settled in, we walked another short trail, one that Leslie insisted she had walked before. But she said it didn't feel familiar to her this time. She kept hesitating, doubling back, muttering that the trees didn't look right. At one point, she stopped walking altogether. She checked her phone. We had no signal. We finally turned around, emerging back at the trailhead just as darkness settled fully in. "Hi, Sherry." The relief was immediate. That night back at the motel, neither of us slept well. I dreamt of walking, not forward and not backward, just walking endlessly. The ground beneath my feet soft and warm, as if thousands of others had passed there before me. I woke up with my legs aching. The twist didn't come until weeks later. Back home, I was editing photos for a video and I noticed something that made my stomach drop. In multiple photos taken in different locations along the trace, there were shapes in the background, always just at the edge of the frame and always slightly out of focus, and always positioned as if they were walking, not toward us, but alongside us. I started researching deeper. And I found an older account of people who walk beside living remnants as travelers. People who never completed the same journey, bound to that path. Not malicious, just lonely, drawn to those who are following the same trail. And now sometimes when I walk alone, especially in unfamiliar ground, I feel that same sensation, not being followed, but of being accompanied. As if the spirits of the travelers before us still help lead us on the trail. And that's the tale of the Natchez Trace. Hi Nick, how are you? That's the tale of the spirits of Natchez Trace. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. All right, we have the Goat Man versus the Lake Worth Monster versus the Deep Woods Anomaly versus Booger Hollow versus the Marshlight. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box and you can vote up to 50 times and you can vote for more than one story. We've got the Goat Man of Nag's Head. We have the Lake Worth Monster from Texas. We have the Deep Woods Anomaly. We have Booger Hollow. And we have the Marshlight, which is the Mimic story. It is involving somebody requested a Mimic story. So that is the Marshlight. Who's it gonna be? Hi, Brooke. Hi, Thay. Aw, it's beefy. I love it. Hi, Rachel. Where's CJ tonight? Skrilla, I noticed the Waka Flocka lyric drop during the story. I appreciate it. Rooster in a Rari. Rooster in a Rari. Hi, Jackson. Do you guys know what a rooster in a Rari is? If you don't, give it a Google. I'm not going to explain it, but it's something else. Thanks, Skrilla. I almost went into it in the middle of the story. I usually do. Rochelle said 67 was Justin's dancer name at the bingo. And Gina's in luck. The winner is the Marshlight. That is another one of my Mimic-y stories. So if you guys would do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner. There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. Thank you, Desiree, for the hanging lights. I love those. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Corey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and if you'd like to listen to them anytime you want, they are all available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Oh, thank you. I love that camping gift, Gina. Thank you so much. That's like my new favorite, I think. I really like that one. It's so cute. Also, thank you to everybody reposting the live and sharing it to your stories and tapping. Thank you to anybody who is tapping tonight. We're a little low on the taps tonight, which surprises me a bit, but it is a Thursday. We've got a smaller crowd tonight. I know, isn't that such a cool gift, Sherry? I love it. All right, you guys, grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Yes, Nikki. Tappers are an awesome way to support your friends when you're listening and not really looking at the screen. it's a great way to help out your friends get pushed out without having to tap the whole time. Very helpful. I do have one in my showcase, but I've heard they have newer ones out now. But the one I have in the showcase is the one I have. So, thanks, Justin. I love you. All right, guys, be right back. User, welcome back to the porch. Nice to see you again. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Hi, Lady Rose. This is the tale of the Marshlight. I love that, Rich. A lot of people say that their cats listen, and that makes me really happy because I am a bit of an animal whisperer. So tell your cat I said. Hi, Spooky Bestie. I missed you. That noise was just my mouth. Yeah, it was little kisses. That's what it was. That's what I did. I just did little kisses with my mouth. That's the noise I do to cats. I took the internship because I needed the credits. And because I thought it would be a quiet summer. That's what I wanted. Something quiet. job was with a tiny nonprofit in a dying Louisiana town called Belmare, just south of Lake Maurepas. They handled wetland conservation efforts, mostly grant writing and seasonal cleanup crews. I'd be staying in a loaned cabin and helping digitize land records, logging reports on water levels and wildlife sightings. But I should have asked more questions. Belmare didn't show up on most maps. It wasn't quite a ghost town, but it sure felt like it was getting there. The roads were cracked and sun-faded. Gas station pumps were bagged, and the post office was boarded up. The only signs of life were a few sagging houses wrapped in moss and kudzu, and an overgrown Catholic cemetery that leaned toward the bayou like it was trying to slide back into the swamp. The nonprofit headquarters was a converted bait shop on stilts, and the woman who ran it was in her 70s and barely looked up from her crossword when I arrived. She handed me a ring of keys, a box of old manila folders, and told me that the cabin was on the far edge of the old preserve, but that it hadn't been used in years. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jen. I drove out there with my windows down, trying to pretend that sweat wasn't soaking through my shirt. The cabin was about 10 minutes from the main road, just a short bridge away from sinking into the marsh. Cypress trees loomed on all sides, their roots tangled in mud, and the smell of sulfur and rot drifted heavy in the air. I remember standing on the porch looking at the black water beneath the stilts and thinking that if the earth had a throat, this swamp was where it choked. The first night was uneventful, just heat and mosquitoes. I found an old box fan and I plugged it in by the window, set up my laptop, and I fell asleep to the chirr of the frogs and distant pops from the marsh. It was the second night that things started to get strange. I woke up around 3 a.m. to a light outside the window. No headlights from a car, and it wasn't a flashlight. It was blue, pale, and pulsing faintly. Like a dying star just above the waterline, it floated. I sat up slowly, and I pressed my face to the window. The light hovered maybe 20 feet from the cabin. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Sally. It was just beyond the edge of the trees, casting long, watery shadows that rippled across the roots in the grass. It drifted slightly left, and then right, and then it vanished. I waited for something to follow. An engine, a voice, anything. But there was nothing. Just the humid air and the sudden absence of the frogs. Thank you, Rachie. Thank you, Sally. morning, I told myself it must have been swamp gas, or maybe a trick of the light. Maybe I was just more tired than I'd realized. But then I looked it up, and what I found blew my mind. Will-o'-the-wisp, the marsh fire, Ignis fatuus, all old names for the same thing. Mysterious lights that appear over wetlands. The next few days passed quietly enough. I digitized a dozen old surveys. I took a kayak into the cypress groves. I even spotted a few spoonbills and a nest of baby gators. Hi, CJ. But something felt wrong in the air. It was quiet. Almost too quiet. And I hadn't seen a single other person near the cabin since I had arrived. And the nonprofit office closed early every day. I chalked it up to heat or disinterest until I found the folder labeled Marshlight. It was buried under a stack of old soil surveys in the back of the office filing cabinet. The kind of thing you only find if you're bored or nosy. And I was both. The label was handwritten in red marker, faded with what looked like water damage on the corners. Inside were 8 printed reports, all local, all describing sightings going back 40 years. The first one was from 1976. It was a fisherman claiming a blue light followed his boat and capsized it. The next was from 1982. A woman who said her brother wandered into the swamp chasing a lantern and never came back. Others followed, years apart but eerily similar. Lights, disappearances, things seen in the water. The last was dated 1999. And it simply read, subject claimed light spoke to her in dead brother's voice. Found wandering 6 miles from camp with feet covered in blood and no sign of brother. Thank you, Stacy. None of these were in the digital files that I had been uploading. Someone had deliberately kept them separate. I asked the old woman at the nonprofit about it the next day. She looked up from her crossword, and then she muttered something about old stories and locals drinking too much. When I pressed, she snapped and said that I shouldn't go out at night, especially not near the standing pools. And then she picked up her pen and ignored me. Okay. That night, I didn't sleep, and the light came back. This time closer. CJ. I watched it from the crack in the curtain, how it moved in slow serpentine loops across the water, bobbing like it was searching. And then it stopped, right at the edge of the porch. It hovered, flickering faintly like breath on glass. And then I heard a scraping sound like claws on metal mesh at the door. I didn't go outside. I didn't even breathe. The next morning, I found the porch screen was torn open. 3 long gashes loaded the floor. I drove straight to the parish records office. It was a cinder block building next to an abandoned car wash, and the AC barely worked. I found a part-time clerk who let me comb through old reports while he napped in the break room. And that's where I found the name. The Bellmare Devil. Back in the early 1900s, locals believed in a swamp entity that lured people off paths with blue lanterns. They said it mimicked voices, stole faces, wore the skin of the people it lured. One folklorist from Tulane described it as a cryptid with shape-shifting abilities, capable of assuming familiar forms to draw victims into the water. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a story to keep kids from staying out after dark. It was real. I rushed back to the cabin and I packed everything. Laptop, clothes, everything but the records. And that's when I found the dead possum nailed to the door. Worse, the porch floor was soaked in dark, viscous water and it was still wet. Whatever had done this had been there just minutes before. I locked myself in the cabin and I called every number I had. But no one answered. Not the nonprofit, not the police, not even my mom. That night I heard it whispering my name through the walls. At first I thought it was the wind or a radio. But then it said my name again and again, like it was practicing how to say it. I pressed my back against the door and held a kitchen knife in my lap until sunrise. When the morning came, I bolted for my car. But my car was gone. The gravel all around it was disturbed, like tracks that looked hooved and deep, led into the tree line as if something had dragged my car away. And that's when I lost it. I screamed and I tried running down the road. But the heat and the fear made me dizzy, and I collapsed in a ditch full of reeds and biting flies. I had no choice. I had to go back to the cabin. I went back and I barricaded the door. I found the old propane stove, lit it, and sat by it like a campfire, knife clutched in my hand. And then came the knock. Deliberate and rhythmic, knuckles on wood. I didn't move. And then a voice, my mother's voice, called from outside. She said that she'd come to bring me home, and that she was sorry that she hadn't answered my calls, and that she was worried about me. But I knew it wasn't her. She lived 3 states away. There was no way she could have gotten here that quickly. And then I heard another voice. Mine. It was me, crying, pleading to be let in. I covered my ears and I rocked on the floor. The voices circled the cabin all night, laughing, begging, mimicking. I didn't open the door. And then sometime before dawn, the stove flickered and died. And the last thing I saw was the blue glow rising again through the floorboards, seeping up like fog. And then everything went black. I woke up weeks later in the hospital. They said they found me on the porch of the cabin, dehydrated and feverish, repeating my own name over and over again. They said the nonprofit shut down the day I went missing. The old woman who ran it vanished, and the property was seized by the state. When they questioned me, I told them it must have been heat stroke or hallucination. I lied through my teeth, because the truth was worse. When I got my belongings, I found that my red bandana, my lucky bandana, was missing. In its place was a muddy scrap of old flannel that was not mine. I moved back north, and I started going to therapy, and I tried to forget. But last week, I saw a news article. A team of campers had gone missing near Lake Maurepas. The only clue was a picture one of them uploaded right before disappearing. It showed a dim, marshy landscape and a small, flickering light hovering just above the water, and bright blue. And that's the tale of the marsh light. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Thank you, Stacy. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like. I have a bedtime stories playlist on my YT channel, and you can also find them on all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Hi, Jade. Thanks. All right, you guys, you know what time it is. It's grilled cheese time. If you guys could do me a favor and share it out one more time, hit that repost button or unpost and re-repost. I would really appreciate it. Thank you to those of you who tapped tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing it out in your stories, in your messages with your friends, and reposting it. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be right back with the last story of the night. The Night Shift at Sycamore Diner. Good night, Deborah. Thanks for all your funny sentences tonight. We love you. Thank you, Rachie. Thank you so much. Thank you for the window and the hearts and the journal. That was cute. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for the budding heart. Love you too, Rachie. Thanks. You were cracking me up earlier with the knuckles thing. Good night, Brooke. We love you. Sweet dreams. Thank you, Misbehavin'. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Black and Brown. I appreciate it so much. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pals Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I know I saw that, Justin, but that's okay. I already blocked it, but I didn't mute it. So thanks for getting it, because muting is the only way to remove it. Hi, Spooky Bestie. Yeah, I saw Justin. Thank you. Thank you, Kim and Misbehavin'. Good job, Matt. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through 5 hours, no stops. Thank you, Spooky Bestie. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. Can one of my mods answer this person's question, please? I pinned it for a reason. Like, hello? I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. Thank you, Sherry. It made the sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. Good night, she's a beast. And the people, they all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way. Just quiet. Like I had walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. Thank you, She-Wolf. Thank you, Skrilla. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going. But now the wind had picked up, and I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. Thank you, Matt. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast, too fast, like under 5 minutes, but it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries, with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. Just that. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff, just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. Good night, Marvin. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked, of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain, and that flickering red sign. SY CAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm and still half eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless. Like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others? They were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer. Like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it. Underneath the illusion. Charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rear view mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone. Not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. a gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight, and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article: same checkerboard floor, same red booths, same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you so much. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And thank you, Tommy, and thank you, Kim, for helping me with my goal. And Kelsey, did you just say your boyfriend's name is Travis? Because how late did you get here? Did you miss the entire Travis thing? Were you sleeping? I'm confused. How did that not come up? Also, Skrilla, yes, Justin has claimed 1 million times. I know, Justin. She just said her boyfriend's name is Travis. You missed the Travis thing? Holy shit, you guys. Hot Jesus' boyfriend is Travis. Lord. Yeah, you did, Jade. We invited you 1 million times because you missed Travis. Anyway, guys. You're both laughing, Manoa. Guys, thanks for joining me. I love you guys. Lady Rose, all the way over on T-Witch, just said, wow. Good night, Lady Rose. I love you. And sweet dreams, guys. I love spending my nights with you. I will see you guys again tomorrow. And I will probably be on an hour later, but maybe I'll just share the fireworks with you guys and then restart when I get home or something. We'll see, because I am probably still be at fireworks at 10 o'clock. So it might be at 11, might be at 10:30, but it will still be tomorrow. I just might be a little later than usual. So I will let you guys know, but I will also stay an hour later than usual for you guys. So thanks for joining me, Porch Pals. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Get some wonderful sleep. And if you can't fall asleep, head on over to the YT channel where my bedtime stories playlist will just help you snooze, I promise. I love you too, Jade. I love you guys so much. Thank you for spending your evenings with me. You could be anywhere, and I appreciate it. And to answer your question, Anna, really quickly, it is a time slip. So I went back right before the diner blew up. And then I slipped back. Does that make sense? Yep. Good night, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget, stay spooky.